Got a little ghost dancing action here. Hey everybody, it's Thunder here. I know it's been a while. I know you missed me. Been making trips back and forth between the arid zone, Arizona, and the coast. And so I'm getting in a video here. I was thinking about doing a thing on sacred tradition, sacred rites, ritual, that type of thing. And for some reason, I don't know, I was talking to somebody about all the doom and gloom and stuff, and hope, to hope for a better future, hope for a better world, hope for better consciousness, whatever. And I hope this is coming out loud enough here. If not, turn up the volume. But I was thinking about the ghost dance, and for those of you who don't know about the ghost dance, then I'll get into it here. The ghost dance was probably created around, I'd say 1870. My facts might not be perfect, but most of them are, it's all from memory, so do your own research anyway. So the ghost dance was a religion or a movement back when the Lakota and the people were all being thrown on the reservations and the fight was basically almost over. And Wavoka, which means the cutter or the woodcutter, was a man that came from the Paiute nation, and he was raised by a minister, but he was also actually a bona fide medicine man. So he saw the despair of the people, and he figured, well, he says he had a vision, I think it was during an eclipse, a solar eclipse, and he had a vision. And he brought this vision that he had to the people for hope. And the ghost dance is really a circle dance, or sometimes they call it a spirit dance. And it originated long before, its origins were in the Paiute nation. And Wavoka was Paiute, and so, but like I say, he also mixed in a little bit of theological stuff, kind of a synthesis spiritually of some things that he learned from these people that had adopted him, or his father, or I don't know the exact story, but his father was a minister. And in the tradition of like the Millerites or a Protestant Reformation type thing. And a lot of religions come from that source, but he just mixed a little bit of that in with his own take on his vision that he had. And his vision that he had, and this has been interpreted in all kinds of different ways, misinterpreted, interpreted. So you get different stories, and who knows, sometimes stories aren't true and sometimes they are. You have to take it with a grain of salt, but the basic teaching is that these people should dance in a circle. I think it's called Nisa Anna, I'm not sure, or Natia or Nadia. This circle, this sacred circle, dance in a sacred circle and call upon spirit or spirits. And this was part of the ritual of the ghost dance. And so he instituted that, and he taught that the teachings were that by doing the ghost dance, that it would be like a supplication or a ritual to bring about his vision of the fact that there would be no more the earth would be renewed, number one, to the condition that the tribal people were used to living in, not on reservations, but renewed in the sense of that there would be no more white man. Or at least the white man would be not in that area that they were in. Now, this wasn't a revolutionary or a militia type movement. It was just because he said he wanted the people to live in peace with the white man, not to give them trouble, to accept them and let matters take course on a spiritual level. And then he also talked about the ancestors, or the ancestral beings, or the ones that had gone on to the other life, being restored, or, being maybe brought back down to earth, or making some kind of an appearance, or the loved ones being able to see them again. I don't think he dogmatically wrote out things like they do in religion today. He was just kind of like, you'll see your loved ones again, don't worry, they're there, they know you're here, they know what you're going through. There will be a renewal on the planet, on the earth, and you will kind of be raised up above it while the earth is, going through these changes. It's interesting. Now, there were several people in the Lakota Nation that were very much interested in what was going on with this. So they went and visited Wovoka personally. He was in Nevada, I believe. And they traveled way a long distance and they visited with him and they had a long talk with him. And the two that went from the Lakota Nation were Kicking Bear and Flying Hawk. And they went and had a powwow with Wovoka, and they talked with him at length about his teachings. And so when they came back, they were excited about it. They thought, yeah, this is a good thing. So they brought it back to the Lakota people on the Pine Ridge Reservation and on the Standing Rock. And Sitting Bull was there, and he was kind of the head man, unsaid head man, because the agent at the reservation was horribly condescending to Sitting Bull, tried to make him feel like shit, basically. And so he was involved with allowing the Sundance and keeping an eye on it. And basically all it was people would get in this circle and they would pray and they'd get whipped up and they'd get the spirit moving, just like any dance, just like any circle dance. I mean, even the Baptists do it. And it was an enjoyable thing for them. It kind of took them out of their body and took them out of the reality that they were living in, which was horrible on the reservations. Gave them hope. Okay? And so McLaughlin, or this guy that was the head of the Standing Rock, and some other people were like looking at these people all getting together and dancing around, and they didn't like it. They felt uneasy with it. They put their own interpretation on it. They put a bad interpretation. They put an interpretation that was like they're getting whipped up and they're going to get they're going to get warrior-like, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that, when really it was just an excuse to keep them in some kind of subjugation and away from their ritual and away from their spirituality, whatever form it took. And really, if they looked at it closely, they would see that some of the spirituality in there was from Christianity. So then it got to be where there were rumors about, now see, this is where you don't know where's fact from fiction, but somebody said, and it could have been the Lakota faction, that, you know, you should wear a ghost dancing shirt. But Wavoka probably was referring to something else, more like a spiritual shirt, putting on a spiritual shirt where nobody would be able to harm you, or a spiritual protection. That's what I get out of it. But then it was twisted a little bit into a regular physical shirt that bullets couldn't go through. Somehow that got spread. But that was just a small part of the rumor, faction, tradition. It had to do more with the tradition from Christianity about putting on a clean garment or a shirt that would protect you, putting on the new garment. That's my take on it, because I know a lot about the Bible. And that particular group, the Millerites, which later became the, you know, Russellites, and then the Dawn Bible students, and there's, you know, a whole bunch of offshoots off that. But my point being is that it was basically a harmless movement, made the natives feel good, and it wasn't just the Lakota. This spread all over. Maybe that's why they got so nervous. But you know, I was thinking about this the other day, and there could, you know, people kind of brush off the ghost dances. Well, it was just a guy that came in and gave him hope, but he had the white man's Christianity, but yet he did some pretty heavy things as a medicine man. I mean, he changed the weather. They wouldn't listen to him otherwise. He did things like cause the weather to change and blocks of ice to fall out of the sky, and he did things. Okay, he had some kind of power. So that's why they listened to him. He had a reputation for not just a Christianity. That was just something he fused in there from his own vision. So I want people to get this straight, okay? And so the ghost dance isn't a bad thing, not unless you make it bad. Yeah, everybody, now, okay, the reason that everybody thinks it's bad is because at the end of it, okay, when the people started getting nervous, they called in the army. And they came in there in force. They said, this is bad, okay? And what ended up happening is that they had the massacre at Wounded Knee, and Sitting Bull got killed right before then. Because the tribal police came in his house and had trumped up charges that he was allowing the ghost dance, or that he was propagating the ghost dance, when really he had barely anything to do with it. They just picked him out because he was the chief. So they broke in his house, and there was a scuffle. Somebody shot somebody else. Next thing you know, Sitting Bull is dead by his own people. So that's the bad that came out of it. And that was really bad. But Sitting Bull saw this. A meadowlark landed on a branch and spoke to him and said, this is what's going to happen. Your own people are going to kill you. And they did. It was kind of an accident, but the same thing happened to Crazy Horse. But none of this would have happened without the influence of the white man in the first place, putting them on reservations and taking some and making tribal police out of them and blah, 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 blah. Excuse me. So, that's what happened. Sitting Bull got killed, the greatest leader of the Lakota people. All because the one guy on this Standing Rock reservation, I believe it was Standing Rock, I don't think it was, well, maybe it was Pine Ridge. I know the massacre of Wounded Knee happened at Pine Ridge, and that was right afterwards, so I'll have to research that, or you guys can. But it was one of those two reservations. And both of them could have been involved. Maybe that's why I'm recollecting Standing Rock somehow. Kicking Bear or Flying Eagle could have come from there. But anyway, the end result is that Sitting Bull got killed, shot by his own people who were tribal police who were put up to it. And they were all messed up in the head anyway. Those people that went that way and didn't try to stay with tradition. So the ghost dance was harmless. It was harmless. And it was thought-provoking. Now, when I look at it today, I'm thinking, because everything has a meaning. Okay, and when Wovoka was talking about the vision that he had, now there's no doubt in my mind that he had a vision. And I have visions like that. I see things like that. I see people in hardship, and I think to myself, well, everybody believes in a God, or everybody thinks that they're, somehow, some way, that with all the chaotic events surrounding us, that something has got to happen, something's got to give. And maybe that's what Wovoka was trying to say. And I've said this in my own way, that there would be a mass shift in consciousness, and that we would return to, that's what the Campfire Council's all about, that I'm setting up in Williams and going back and forth and getting office furniture and perpetuating that idea, is that really that's kind of what it's all about, is that a renewal of hope through preparation, through self-reliance, through ritual, through sacred ritual, okay? So maybe there's a parallel there about how important it is for people to have hope. And if you don't believe in Christianity, because of the way it's been Bible thumped down everybody's throat, and because of the hypocrisy involved with that, and you're a native, and you're next to nature, next to the land, what do you look to? Well, you look to the spirits of the land, the spirit that moves in all things. Maybe you even go out and do the circle dance. Okay? You go to another place. You detach from what's around you. That's all they were trying to do, was detach, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that we detach from what's around us and have hope. Because what's around us is insanely chaotic, screwed up. Just like it was for them on the reservation. It was really bad for them. Hell, they went from hunting buffalo out on the plains to, oh, you can go over there in the corral and we'll cut out a cow for you. And you can act like a warrior and shoot it. And that's a big deal. Thanks for nothing. Excuse me. Thanks for nothing. They took those people and put them in. Then they all got sick because they were all on this reservation. So this is what they had to deal with, and this is why they were trying to escape through some type of spiritual movement that would be okay with the powers to be and still incorporate there. But maybe there's a reason. Maybe this is really going to come true. We don't know. Maybe Wovoka was way ahead of his time. Maybe the people will be removed that aren't living in a tribal sacred fashion, and that the ancestral spirit will revive. Okay? Just depends on interpretation, doesn't it? And putting on the shirt of protection from those things around us would be like you know, what I've talked about before, detachment with compassion, but still, you know, everybody knows what's going on. That's why we're doing the dance. We're doing the circle dance. We're doing the circle dance now. And who knows? The thing that they may have been afraid of is that if enough people started doing this circle dance in the nations, then the spirit would have gotten stronger. It would have attracted the ancestral spirits or great spirit, because that was a heavy-duty ritual. It was deep. There's no doubt about it. So that's something to think about. I thought I would just tell that little story today, and that might be one of my seminars, or that might be a way to explain how I feel about how we should have self-reliance, detached from all the chaotic bullshit that's going on around us. Okay? In the world, the doom and gloom and the high-pitched fever stuff that everybody's projecting out there. And if it happens, it happens. But we're not going to be a part of it. We're going to be sacred. We're going to detach from war, because war is hell. The wars they have today are hell. They're horrific. And the stuff that they are, you know, perpetuating today, the things that they are perpetuating on all levels, is basically horrific, and I don't want to deal with it anymore, except to inform you of it, or to inform you that you should take note of it, do your own research about what's going on in the world. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see. So I guess that's my little story for today, the ghost dance, and it has to do with sacred tradition and ritual. And we need hope, people, because it's a hopeless world out there. And hopefully our ancestral spirits will again strengthen us. It happened before in the 60s with the hippies, because all they did was wear beads and headbands, and they were, you know, moccasins. They were totally, that spirit revived heavily in the 60s. So that's what makes me think, hey, that's still around. It's still around, and it was definitely the spirit of the indigenous people of this land incarnating into the young generation of that time, or infusing itself into that generation. And that's what we need again. We need an infusion of spirit, only this time it's going to be it's going to be much deeper, people, and it's going to be soon. Because if it isn't soon, then we don't even want to go there. We don't even want to go. I've been there in previous videos. You know the drill. So anyway, that's Thunder for today. And if you want to find out more about the Campfire Council, it would be up here, somewhere popping up. Offices in Williams near the Grand Canyon. Furnishings coming in. I'm going over there now to set them up. To perpetuate some seminars, just to do some good things and relax too. I'm already relaxed. I'm already there. So, I'll be in touch. I'll keep you posted. And down here, there's some show links too. Everything you need is down there. for the Campfire Council. And if you're interested in it, we can only do this through your donations. And that's what's got us this far, and I want to thank you from the heart for that. So if you can find it in your heart to keep that up, that'd be great. Also sign up for the newsletter, and my book, Listen to the Wind, Speak from the Heart, is on the website as well. So until next time, from the one eye of the heart, this is Thunder. I'm out of here. Talk to you later. See you soon. Bye.